Today's program is sponsored by The Anthony Vincent Salon. Say hello to beautiful.
Fashion, music, wellness.
And don't forget sex.
Mostly sex.
If it's trending, they'll be talking about it. Trend Radio is right here.
And right now, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we always have something great to say.
Because it's us. So stay tuned.
You'll be glad you did. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning.
What a fantastic week this was in history.
Yes, it was.
Barbie debuted in 1959.
Absolutely. The first Barbie doll went on display at the American Toy Fair in New York City. She, just as beautiful as ever, as you know.
It was a hit.
A waterfall of blonde hair, 11 inches tall. She was the first mass-produced toy doll in the United States with adult features.
Oh.
Yeah. And the woman behind Barbie? Ruth Handler. She co-founded Mattel in 1945.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know
cool.
that.
So cool.
And also, the telephone was invented.
Yeah.
This week in history.
Yeah, thank God. Ring-a-ling. Yeah.
What would all those ladies do without their telephones?
Yes, I don't know. God, if you couldn't call all of them, that would be horrible. But on a serious note, the first public showing of Alexander Graham Bell's telephone happened in 1876. There were so many wonderful world-changing inventions that debuted at the World's Fair.
Watson, come here. I need you.
Am I Watson now?
No, those were the first words.
Yeah,
that
on
were
the telephone.
spoken over the telephone.
Yes, I know.
Bell dropped something on the wires, and it created a chemical reaction, which made the words. You made the phone work.
See that?
Very, very interesting.
See that? A good accident.
Yes, it is. Now, talking about making the phone work, getting back to our fun facts about semen.
Oh, we go from the phone and Barbie to semen.
To semen, fun facts.
Okay, then.
Do you know that good diet equal good sperm?
I do know that.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I know that.
Sperm count and quality can be greatly affected by a man's dietary habits. Food that will give you vibrant, healthy, muscular, happy, robust sperm include oysters, bananas, walnuts, asparagus, garlic, lean beef, and chocolate.
Oh, see that? Yeah. Chocolate's good for everything.
Yes, it is.
Good for everything.
But also, don't forget to drink plenty of water.
Oh, we say that all the time.
We do.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And water is always best.
Yes. And what a good show. A great show.
Of course.
We have today.
Of course, because it's us.
That's right. Have you ever heard of a boy toy?
Absolutely.
You know what it is?
I do.
That's right. Tell me.
I'm not going to.
It is older women seeking younger men. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
But first, do you know women are selling their breast milk?
Yes.
For incredible sums of money.
Yeah. Yeah. And not just for babies. And that's what's so crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're selling it, of course, and giving it, to babies because breast milk, they say, is so much better for a baby. But you know what I don't understand? I don't understand why.
We had a big argument about 6 months ago on this show about breastfeeding versus formula. But we're not going to talk about that.
We did not have an argument. It wasn't that I didn't agree with you. You were saying that
You're right. It wasn't an argument. It was a drawn-out fight.
You were saying that the reason some women don't breastfeed is due to laziness. Mm-hmm. And that's not the reason. Mm-hmm. That's not the reason.
That's what you said. We're going to start this argument all over again?
Yes, we are, because you brought it up.
Well, I'm going to change the subject. Some states are trying to regulate who sells it and how they sell it.
Wow.
And it's happening right here in New Jersey.
Is it really? Were you trying to buy breast milk again?
No. Breast milk can trade for 400 times more than the price of crude oil and 2,000 times more than iron ore.
Really?
That's right. Yeah. In fact, if it was sold off the shelf, it could cost more than 150 times the price of a gallon of cow's milk and 15 times more than coffee.
Wow. And you know what's so crazy about it? Again, I'm saying it, not just for babies. Men, strange men are buying breast milk on the internet.
For their own consumption. Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
Well, it's a fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy fetish. So weird.
Well, going for about $4 an ounce, breast milk is a hot commodity that is emerging as a surprisingly cutthroat industry.
Really?
Yeah. And, states are trying to regulate it, as I said, like right here in New Jersey.
So let me ask you something, though. I mean, if you're selling your breast milk, I mean, obviously you would need to really package this properly and put it on, I guess, ice and overnight it.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem. But if you are selling it individually, you pump it, it goes into a container, and people buy it the same day. That's why the states are trying to regulate. In fact, the whole debate, centers on whose process results in the safest milk. And it's mostly for premature babies in their natal intensive care units at the hospitals. And they're the places that really need the milk if a mother has difficulty producing enough, for the child, or the child has trouble latching onto the breast.
Yeah. And that really can happen. And then there are situations where the mother does have trouble producing the milk. She's not lazy. She's having an issue.
No. That's, don't give the blame to these poor women. Some of them do have issue.
Exactly.
Have a heart, Elise. Have a heart.
You're the one. You're the one. Laziness. It's pure laziness.
Take the moral high ground.
Oh my God. Mike, there are times, boy. This man's just cruising for a bruising.
She's very abusive, this woman, this co-host of mine. If you would like to see the bruises that she leaves on my body, I've gone to the police. And they've laughed at me.
Yeah, like I am right now. Yeah.
Anyway, let's getting back to the subject on hand and not your abusive qualities and your extremely hot temper.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, there are nonprofit organizations, generally saying that milk distribution should be a altruistic and not for profit. But the nonprofit companies are arguing that mothers deserve to be compensated. So there's two sides of the coin here.
Well, I would think that if there is, you have to understand something, okay? I mean, people need to understand this and get a visual on this. Think about this. The breast milk, I mean, you're pumping it. It takes time for it to come out of the breast, okay? And so if this is what this woman is doing, and she's just had a baby of her own, and she's taking the time to pump this breast milk, I mean, she's obviously not doing anything else. She can't go anywhere. That's got to be her work. She's got to be compensated for that.
And you can pump breast milk for years.
Yeah, once the lactation starts.
Yeah, I had a neighbor that breastfed for 5 years.
Yeah, I know women who do breastfeed their children for 5 years. I personally don't agree with that, but that's my thing. Anyway, aside from that, I mean, if the woman is doing this and she's pumping and she's home doing this, then she's got to be paid for it, don't you think?
Well, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but here in the U.S.
It depends on where the milk is going.
I agree with that. Yeah, and
if it's for premature babies in hospitals, and she's sitting here and she's doing that, and it's with an intention of helping these children, then I would think there should be compensation for her.
Well, right here in this country, there's 2 for-profit companies and 1 nonprofit that oversees about 15 milk banks. Mothers have long had far from a monolithic view on the question of milk banking. For some, the work involved, as you said earlier, the cleaning of the bottle parts, the pumping, the storing of their milk, it warrants being paid. But others view that, donating their milk, which is considered a superior formula in the nutrition and immunity building qualities, as a charitable service. And we actually had a big fight on this too, mother's milk versus the formulas. And
we didn't actually have an argument.
Maybe we
about
agreed.
This.
We
agreed that the mother's milk is always best, depending, of course, on the mother. Okay, because
right,
we don't know
she needs to be
always,
healthy.
of course. So the mother's milk, of course, is always best. I question sometimes if somebody else's mother's milk is good for your child, but I mean that would be determined by a doctor. And if that's what they're saying, and they're saying that it's better as long as the woman is healthy, that's perfectly fine. That's never been my issue. Jokingly, you were with the laziness part, but I mean, obviously,
it was joking.
Of course,
just
of
to make
course,
for good radio.
Of course, but I know that that's not even the issue either, because there are so many. Sometimes there could be contaminants in the formulas that they're talking about, and
we had a show on the formulas from China.
Exactly,
there was a fungus in it.
Yeah, and the baby is getting that. It could be anything, and the baby's little immune system can't fight a lot of that. But having said all of that, prior to all of this, I mean, the most important thing is that the baby is healthy. I do think, though, that if you're going to donate something, that's wonderful, but it does take time. And if you want to be compensated for it, I think you should be. Okay. Because there is a lot that goes into it.
That's right.
There is. You have to make sure you're healthy. You have to make sure you have your sleep. You have to make sure that everything is sterile and clean. You have to make it takes time. Somebody's doing something. She's got her own children, obviously, and she's taking care of others. She needs to be paid for it, unless she doesn't need the money.
Well, this lactating gal, Kelly, she says you never know who your donated milk is going to. Now, she donates her breast milk, and she says it could go to someone who could someday cure cancer, or it could go to someone that marries my son or takes care of me if I need help one day, if I'm in a nursing home.
Well, now that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Well, Kelly, I need to tell you that no one is ever going to cure cancer. They will only treat it. There will never be a cure. I'm sorry to say this. There is too much money, too many companies involved in the treatment of cancer. And
wow. I'm sitting here saying, what a beautiful thought Kelly has. And there you go. What was that?
Well, this is you versus me, which is us.
Okay, but here.
Listen, here she goes again.
With us, it's not that I'm not
agreeing.
Her
temper is flaring up.
My
I'm just
temper
taking
is not flaring.
Ouch. She just pinched me.
I did not.
That's going to leave a mark.
You want a mark?
Ow! She's doing it again.
That's going to leave a mark. That will leave a mark. Okay.
I'm scared for my own life, so I'm not going to help you out at all. I'm good over here.
Mike, I'm just making good radio here. I'm trying to. Now, let's get back to someone marrying her son. Well, the statistics are 50% of the time they'll be divorced.
Oh, my God.
And how about someone taking care of you when you're in a nursing home? No, those people don't even get visitors from their own damn family.
Oh, my gosh.
I volunteer in these nursing homes. I go there.
Yeah.
Yes, and I often ask you
That's
to
where he
come
gets his
along
marks. You don't go.
and sing. Do you remember the one time you went with me? We played music and we sang. Do Do you remember that
It was
one?
the one time you came with me to visit my mother.
Well, just so you know,
Oh my God.
I really enjoyed that. And
I know
have
you
been
did.
doing it without you. I don't do everything with you.
I know you haven't been doing that
I
without
have
me.
a life.
Yeah. I know you haven't been because I know exactly what you're doing every minute of your day.
Yeah. Right. Okay, let's get back to the subject over here. Okay, we're talking about, what is it we're talking about? Milk banking?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Now, there is an agreement in that the milk banking industry that there is a shortage of this human milk that are available to hospitals. And the nonprofit Human Milk Banking Association of North America estimates that there are 4,000 moms that are using these banks across the country.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Now, there's also a largely shared view that it is important for donor milk to be thoroughly screened for bacteria, drugs, and adulteration by cow's milk.
Wow.
So there are people who are mixing cow's milk with breast milk.
Really?
Just like there are some olive oil companies mixing vegetable oil with olive oil.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Big money in it.
That's crazy. Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that?
That is awful, though.
Yeah. Now, these nonprofit companies say that they respect the right of the moms to sell their breast milk because it's theirs. But they question the profit motives of the companies like Medilac, Prolacta, and the International Milk Bank. Mm-hmm. See, these nonprofit companies offer moms a chance to make $2 or $3 an ounce for the milk. Now, there's a company called Only the Breast. That is a for-profit marketplace, and they don't directly pay the women. They just connect them with the paying clients.
Wow. See, that's fantastic. I like that. Only the breast.
Okay. So the companies say that mothers have the right to earn money for their milk and that their model can change the shortage of the breast milk.
Okay.
If you're doing it for
what?
money.
That's cool, though, that the company is there backing them. And
Now, the co-founder of Only the Breast, Glenn Snow, he's about to launch this, the International Milk Bank, which will be part of a network of 49,000 members and 65 million ounces of milk within the Only the Breast network.
That's interesting. But so this is just strictly then when they're doing this is strictly for children.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
strictly for children.
So this has nothing to do with fetishism
No.
or anything like that.
And
Fetishes.
mostly for hospitals with premature babies.
Okay.
The breast milk heals these babies and grows these babies better than anything
Aw, that's
that
sweet.
that can be manufactured.
That's fantastic.
By scientists in the hospitals.
That's fantastic.
The thing is, though, that my concern is how that milk is processed, to reduce that contamination. Medilac, for example, they use a sterilization process that kills the contaminants and also allows the milk to be stored at room temperatures. They're altering Mother Nature. So will
See,
it be
that I don't care for.
Yeah, but even the nonprofits, they use a pasteurization method, and then they freeze the
They're
milk.
pasteurizing breast milk?
Yes, before it's shipped to the hospitals.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
my
that's-
belief is
That's rough.
you pump the milk and you ship it out and use it.
See, that's where there's a problem, though. It has to be overnighted and it has to be on ice. It has to be kept cold. It has to be.
But why does it need to be kept cold in the body? It's
Because once it comes out, once it goes into, when it's going from the body into the baby.
okay.
Okay.
So it's
and so
staying warm.
that's fine. That's room temperature. And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And that you should understand. That goes
I
goes
understand
directly into that. Once it comes out though and it's pumped, it needs to be refrigerated. It's like when you open a jar, it says refrigerate after opening.
Yeah. Okay. I get
Okay. So now you understand. Refrigerate after pumping.
that. Okay.
Okay. So it needs to be kept. It doesn't need to be frozen, but you could freeze it.
Okay.
And then, it could be brought down to room temperature and then it would be fine. You know that. Flash freezing? Like the vegetables. You know, well, remember we talked about that. You flash freeze it and the nutrients stay right where they are.
in it. Okay.
Exactly. So if they would do something like that and then overnight it and then bring it to, room temperature, because the baby needs to have it at room temperature anyway. It would shock the baby's system to have it too cold or too hot.
Okay.
Okay. And then you wouldn't want to do that to it anyway. You'd want it to thaw and you'd want it to be brought to room temperature, but it needs to be protected so that the nutrients stay well and that it doesn't go bad.
All right. That surely makes sense.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could clear that for you.
Thank you. Now, you're going to love this.
I'm sure.
Okay. There are other companies like Prolacta, which specialize in the manufacture of human milk fortifiers.
Oh, boy.
So they're adding chemicals to Mother Nature's natural breast milk. That's something else I don't agree with.
That, again, when you take a healthy mother and you change the formula of what comes out of her, that's ridiculous.
Well, that's what they're doing.
I think that's ridiculous.
And that's what's happening to all our food.
Well, yes. Well, we know that. They're modifying everything. But to modify breast milk, wow.
Yeah. And add to it.
That's ridiculous.
Nature gives us everything we need.
Absolutely. And then some.
And, mothers who breastfeed, their children are never colic. They don't get diaper rash. They don't cry. They're generally happier babies.
For the most part. It's really, that's really actually.
Generally speaking, there's always an exception, and nothing is ever 100%.
That is true.
Well, anyway, getting back to New Jersey, and I said earlier that there was a bill up in New Jersey, and this bill doesn't distinguish between nonprofit or for-profit companies, but instead calls on the State Department of Health to set up licensing requirements.
Wow.
So these requirements are for selecting and screening potential donors, as well as the standards for collection, the processing, storage, marketing, and distribution of the donated breast milk.
Whew, that was a lot of information.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, do you have something a little bit lighter now to talk about?
Lighter.
Yeah, that was some heavy stuff there.
I like heavy stuff. Every once in a while, we gotta,
okay,
flip-flop the show a little bit.
So now let's flop back to the other side, to the light side.
Okay, well, no, this is serious stuff here. My entire life, I've been surrounded by successful relationships.
What does that have to do with what we were just talking about?
Nothing. You said you wanted a flip-flop.
Okay, we're flopping.
Am I flopping?
Okay.
Am I flopping?
You
over
are
here?
funny. Okay.
Alrighty. Because we are talking about me this particular show.
We're always talking about you, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
As long as you understand that. I understand.
Okay.
You need to be talked about.
That's what I'm saying. I have always been surrounded by successful relationships. My co-host, very successful relationship there. My parents were just as in love with one another as from the day they met to the day they died.
Oh, that's beautiful. My grandparents were like that.
Yeah. How long were they together?
Oh my God, they were together for I think 75 years.
That's amazing.
Plus,
and just adored each other.
I can't tell you. My grandfather would look at my grandmother like a star, a shooting star just fell from the sky, in awe. He was in awe of her. And she of him. It was amazing. I never saw anything like that in my life.
Yeah, I have an aunt. My Aunt Tony and Uncle Barry met when they were 15 years old, and they were married.
That was like my grandparents.
Oh.
My grandmother was 14. My grandfather was 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my aunt has never, ever dated any other man.
Yeah.
They've been together.
Same thing.
And
I
just
love your Aunt Tony.
Wonderful. She is. She's a doll.
And your Uncle Bear.
Yeah. And their kids and grandkids now just
beautiful family.
Yeah, just very, very successful. So anyway, to get to the bottom of it, I ask couples why they think that their relationship works. And everyone listed, a few different reasons, but they all stated that one fact was the same in each person that we talked to, was that they talked to each other. They talked to each other.
Communication.
Yeah.
It's all about communication. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy couples communicate with each other. We say this all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems obvious, but it can easily slip through the cracks.
It's very, very important to communicate and to be able to express how you feel. It's very, very important. And we do talk about this. We do discuss this because this is something you have to be able to say how you feel. You have to be able to do that. You have to trust the person that you're with enough that you can actually tell him or her how you feel and know that they're not going to walk away from you, that they're going to sit there and listen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so important. So
it
important.
It is so important.
Yeah. And, Elise, you need to express your needs and your feelings.
Yeah.
There's no way for your co-host, I mean your partner, to know what?
Nothing.
To know what you want out of your relationship if you don't say what they are.
I know. Nobody's a mind reader, even though some people think they can read each other's minds. Nobody really is a mind reader. And that's why it's so very important to be able to just say, hey, I need to talk to you for a second. This is what's bothering me. This is what I need. And it should be okay.
But you really need to make sure that you clearly express how you are feeling.
Yes.
And to be totally honest.
Honesty.
Totally honest.
Honesty is key in every relationship.
That's right.
If you cannot be honest, just don't be in the relationship.
That's right. The moment you start lying is the moment things go wrong.
And the moment you need to just be not there.
That's right. That's right.
Because you're really not there anyway.
If you can't be honest with the person you love, who could you be honest with?
You can't be.
You
have to be honest. Yeah.
The more experiences you share, the closer you become.
Yes. And when you can be honest with each other and express your needs and feelings and accept each other, acceptance is also very, very, very important.
That's right. For all the pros and the cons.
Yes, you have to be able to...
You just don't take the good stuff.
No. You have to be able to enjoy what's good, but also give back. Because otherwise it won't work. There's give and take with everything. And if you're having an issue and you're talking about it, you also have to listen to the person.
Ah, yes. Don't just speak. Make sure you listen.
Listening is key also.
Yeah.
Listen to each other. It's so important. That's how you'll maintain
That's right.
your happiness.
Don't shut down just because the other person may be whining or nagging. Just listen to it. Don't shut down.
That's right. It's a respect thing. Respect each other's needs.
Absolutely. And if you practice these communication skills every day, you will see that your relationship will be stronger than ever. Sometimes it's hard to do. Very, very hard.
But it's worth it.
Right? But do these things and you will have many more happy anniversaries to come.
I agree.
By the way, we're celebrating 2.5 years.
Yes, we are.
This month.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So now that you have your communication skills open and you know how to be honest with each other, we've got some fantastic sex tips for couples in long-term relationships, because keeping it fresh takes more than dinner and a movie.
Oh my God, it sure does. Yeah, we're talking a little bit more than the Netflix and chill.
Yes, that's right. Being in a long-term relationship has its perks, but honestly, it's got its downsides too.
Okay, but you want to be in the relationship. You want to be in the long-term relationship.
Oh, sure. What did George Burns once say when he played God? Every top has a bottom. Every
Yeah.
left has a right.
Yeah.
Every good has a bad.
Every nice pot has a great lid.
That's right. It fits tightly.
Yeah, and tightly is important.
So, it's great to have intimacy with someone. Even that you're okay peeing with the door open. But,
Yeah.
but sometimes things can get a little too comfortable. And, before you know it, you find yourself having that once a week sex missionary just before you both roll over and go to sleep.
Ay, 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 ay.
Although some people I know
There's
are
nothing wrong
happy
with
to-
that. Wait,
No.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it.
No, but if you'd like to liven things up a bit, add a little spice to your life,
That's right.
there's always, a little something, something extra.
And I am always the first person in keeping that passion alive and keeping the, what is it that I say? Keep the attraction high?
Oh, definitely keep the attraction high. But we talk about this all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that's what you do.
That's right.
And that's what keeps it hot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as we love our partners and love having sex, sometimes we just rather eat a little pizza.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
Totally fine.
There's nothing. In fact, I love a good pizza.
Where's your favorite pizza place?
I think you know,
Yes, that's my place. My favorite place too.
without mentioning any names.
That's right. Thin and crispy.
Yummy and cheesy.
So, if you're in a long-term relationship and feel that things are getting a bit stagnant, or even if you aren't, but would like to mix it up just a little bit, then give me a call. Ouch! Stop. Okay. Stop that now. Where were we?
As long as he doesn't hit me back, we're in good shape.
Never. I never hit a lady. Ever.
I do have to say something, though, okay?
Of course you do.
Yes, I do. You're going to have to stop making me pinch you and hit you.
Okay. Oh, that was a gentle tap. I thought you were going to hit me again.
Oh, my God. I never hit you. Why would
Yeah,
you say
right.
this? Oh, my gosh.
I'm not going
Mike.
to press charges. I'm not going to press charges.
There's
And
a
if-
wall that I can't see, so I have
yeah,
no
I was
idea.
going to say, can we have this little
I have no idea.
thing lowered so you can see what really goes on back here?
Oh, my God.
She'd probably still find a
both-
way to sneak it.
I think she
The
would.
both of you are going to oh, and I give you crackers and food.
Yes, I know.
I'm a battered co-host.
You are not
I'm
battered.
a battered man.
Oh my gosh! All right, I guess I won't say anything. I can't. I got them both going
Oh,
on.
wait a minute. You have a microphone in front of you. You can't not help saying something. Anyway, so Elise has some sexual tips and activities that you could work into your repertoire, and they're all really fun. And all of them will help keep it fresh.
Okay, so I think tip number 1, definitely try to have morning sex at least once a week if you can. Yeah, it's been scientifically proven that morning sex is great for you. Yeah. And do you know why?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Oh, you tell me. Let's see if we think alike.
Okay, well, your partner's right there, first of all. I mean, you're laying right next to each other. And there's a certain kind of intimacy, a certain kind of feeling, that when you just kind of roll right over onto each other, I mean, at this point, you haven't even gone to the bathroom. You haven't brushed your teeth. You haven't.
The raw sex, yeah.
Yeah, it's raw. It's
Dirty.
Well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
Well, I meant like stinky dirty.
It's intimate. And
Yes.
it's feeling, you kind of just put everything aside. I mean, if you're self-conscious because maybe you have morning breath or you didn't shower, your hair is not perfect, but you put all of that aside and you just see right into each other. It's very intimate.
I always shower before I go to bed, and then I shower again in the morning to start the day. And I've had some really great girlfriends over the years.
Here we go.
I'm talking about the
We always
vernacular
make it. We always go right back to making it about him.
I had a friend who had a really great girlfriend, and he would tell me that she wakes him in the morning with oral.
Ah.
And he also said that he had a girlfriend that would come over to see him right before work at 6 a.m. for that morning sex. So
Very nice.
mm-hmm.
So that goes right into.
He really liked her.
Yeah, that goes right into. Don't be afraid to surprise your partner.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you mean?
surprise. Well, she would come over and, surprise him. But besides that, add a little spice.
Oh, you mean like pulling his clothes off from his body, greet him with nothing on but a sly little grim.
A grim or a grin?
A sly, maybe a trench coat with nothing on underneath. I don't know.
The key with this, don't do it too often so it stays a surprise.
That's right. Then you kind of get used to that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. See that? All right. One night, one day, whatever it is, share a fantasy with each other. Whatever the wildest thing is that you could think of, share it. That's very, very, very intimate and very, very telling. Like if you have something that you're not too sure about, how is she going to react? How is he going to react if I tell him this turns me on? Don't worry about it. Just do it. Do it.
Yeah, he'll probably like it.
Maybe.
Yeah, guys like everything because they do. And once you've been in a relationship for a long time, you've been through all kinds of awkward stuff. So you should be able to open up, right?
You should be, but that's what's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it,
Well, do you have to do it, or can you just share the fantasies? You don't necessarily have to do them.
You don't have to act out on them, but think about how much fun that would be.
Well, it depends on the fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it depends. That's what I'm saying. You can talk about it and see the reaction.
Yeah, see if it really turns them on or not. And you can really be accepting of what the other person really wants, and I think that would be the turn on. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but you accept.
Sure. Yeah. That would be fun.
By the way, furry handcuffs are $13.89 on Amazon.com.
I know they are. I already ordered your hair.
You see, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
You flirt, and you flirt like you mean it.
Well, that's how it has to count. If you're going to flirt, mean it. Do it right, or don't do it.
That's right. Flirting is playful and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, throwing your partner a little wink is a friendly reminder that, you're still hot for them, even when you're not in the bedroom.
Absolutely. And just so that we can clarify a few things for people, it's okay to flirt with somebody who's not your partner. That's okay, as long as you're just flirting. Don't take it above that. Don't take it to the next level, because then you're touching a dangerous territory.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, flirting with your partner, plan on trying one new sex position a month.
Oh, yeah.
What's those books called that you have?
The Karma Sutra?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You have that.
the
What,
Karma
The Joy
Sutra.
of Sex?
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody that, is not familiar with different sex positions, email Elise.
I will send you whatever you need.
She
Yeah.
has
Trend
copy
Radio.
pages of all of the sexual positions.
Listen to me. You reach out to me about this. I will send you not only information about this, whatever you want, but I'll also send you a $50 gift certificate to Anthony Vincent
Oh,
Salon.
there she goes again.
Email me now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
You know, that Kama Sutra exists for a reason.
Absolutely.
And it does include 64 sex acts, and it's also a guide for all things amorous, including reaching ultimate intimacy during these positions.
And that's the crazy thing. It's not only sexual, but it's extremely intimate.
Yes.
And intimacy is where it is. When you can look into your partner's eyes and do what you do with your partner and still feel great, imagine taking it to the next level that way.
If you're a little bit too shy to email Elise, then try Kama Sutra for Beginners. $13, Amazon.com. Oh, I have friends that do this. Try someplace public-ish.
Yeah, ish.
To a public-ish. You know, there are many places where you can have some sexy times with your partner. So keeping it just in the bedroom isn't an option.
It's not just for breakfast anymore.
That's right. Spice
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and it can happen in more places than you know.
Oh, gosh, definitely. Wherever.
And meet each other for the first time again.
Oh, that's always great.
Yeah. Modern Family had a show on this where they were in a hotel and they were different people. And it was hysterical. And the husband wound up in the wrong hotel room.
Oh, no. I actually have a friend who does this.
Oh.
I have a friend who does this. She actually, with her husband, actually, believe it or not, they're actually not married. They're together a very long time, but they actually do this. They meet in different places, and they have one-night stands. It's interesting.
You know, we had a client that was telling me same situations, and she had all these different wigs. She'd have blonde wigs and red wigs and long ones and
she'd
short
name
ones.
them. Yeah, I know somebody who would do that also, and they would name them. And, you know, one day she's Celeste, and one day she's Bambi, and one day she's, you know, Bridget. And yeah, it would be amazing for them.
I think I like your friend.
Oh, do you?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you try meeting your partner at a bar, you know, and pretending that you're strangers. Okay. So it's this way. You meet your partner at a bar, you pretend that you're strangers, and you can play yourselves if you want or someone else. You just pretend that you don't know each other yet.
Yeah. And you know what? Believe it or not, it really does make for a fun time because everybody surrounding you doesn't know what's actually going on. So all they see are two people meeting each other for the first time. So that kind of adds to the fire for you.
Wow. Okay, so, yeah, it really sounds good. You're like meeting each other for the first time all over again and then remembering why you fell for them in the first place.
Ooh, that could be hot.
That's very, very cool. That is very cool.
That is.
Alrighty. You know, we did a whole show on this a few months ago. Make out with each other.
Oh, making out. Yeah. Yeah. Making out is hot.
Yeah. And making out is so underestimated. You know, think about it this way. You're probably with your partner now because it all started with a first kiss.
Oh, my God. Just that kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And don't think of making out as something that has to do and lead to sex.
Oh, no. You can just kiss intensely for minutes, hours. You can just kiss. Kissing is hot.
That's right. Keeping that attraction high. That's
very,
what we talk
very
about.
high. Absolutely. You know what also?
What's that?
You can add a few toys right into the mix.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, in our show, we talk a lot about sex. A lot. You know, and
Yeah.
And it's because these companies send us a lot of sex stuff.
Yeah.
A lot. So, we pass these toys out to our, to participants of our study groups, and they rate them from exciting to falling flat. But most of them make for some really experimental fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
and
we're told.
that's the key. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. So if you'd like to be a participant of our survey group, ow! Never mind.
That one was for me. From across the table. That was for me.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. Yeah. Mike, I can't believe how quickly you reached your arm out and got him.
I'm pretty good at that, yeah.
Yeah, that was
I'm
good.
a sneaky guy. I try to hide it sometimes, but,
No, that was good. I was really shocked with that one. I almost got a little nervous.
I was going to let him go towards you on that one, but I was like, you know what? I should admit it.
You see, I don't see where these things are coming from, and I think it's her.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
All righty. So what we're saying is embrace the magic of foreplay. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. And it's so important. That's the beginning. That's because that just takes you over.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So you got this great build-up? Then stop. Yes, stop. Nothing more.
Ooh. Your partner will just tear you apart.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
And another thing, put your pride on the line.
It's hard to put yourself out there, but, even if you stumble at attempts to be sexy, your partner still loves you.
So much.
Yeah. So, even more importantly, it's exciting and loving to push yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. Make an effort.
That's right.
Just do it.
That's what being in a relationship is all about.
Absolutely.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. And you're going to hear all about being a boy toy.
Ouch.
Need a salon that's about the whole you? Precision haircuts, flawless makeup, impeccable nails, top-rated professional hair products. Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a hairstylist who has his finger on the pulse of all the latest trends? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a dependable salon with over 35 years in the industry? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for New York City and internationally trained stylists that will create the perfect look for you? Anthony Vincent Salon. Shine brightly while walking down the aisle. Anthony Vincent Salon. For longer, thicker, beautiful hair extensions, Anthony Vincent Salon. Incredible makeup applications for weddings, proms, or any special occasions. Anthony Vincent Salon. Have dry, brittle summer hair? Get a hot shot. Anthony Vincent Salon. Before you put a ring on it, manicure it. Anthony Vincent Salon. Your image is their specialty. For the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Anthony Vincent Salon. For a more beautiful you, call now 609-448-2212 and follow them on Twitter.
Anybody ever heard of a boy toy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that is, right?
Of course.
Yeah. According to the Urban Dictionary, a boy toy is merely a male used for sexual purposes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, something you didn't know. There's a dating website called Toy Boy Warehouse.
Now, how do you know that I didn't know that?
Oh, you did know that? It's the largest dating site for older women and younger men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be, what, 60? You're not?
Oh, my God. Stop it. I am not.
No? Okay.
No.
So that's why you are such a good co-host. I know that you're close to 60, and I'm turning 40
Oh, my God.
in 2 months.
Okay, everybody. I just turned 50 in October.
She's still older than me.
I am not.
Anyway, Toy Boy Warehouse dating site is one of the largest dating sites for older women and younger men. And the boy toy older woman relationship is not new. It's it's an age gap relationship where the male is younger than the female. But different from a sugar daddy relationship, these relationships tend to be a little less materialistic. Though, there are some fair share of men who are taking advantage of the extravagant gifts coming their way.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I actually know a couple of women that do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they clients?
Yeah.
Damn.
You're too old.
The co-host is always the last to know.
You're too old for them.
I know. I know a few too. I know who they are.
Well, I'm not too old.
We will hook you up.
Ew, it's like a mommy thing. Gross.
Not according to the guys.
You know what? Some of them, though, it is kind of like they do think that it's a mommy thing. But, I mean, then there's the daddy issues, too, with the girls and the older guys. So
Yeah, that's right. These girls always have daddy issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not every boy toy is given the luxury that you might think. Some of these women go to elaborate lengths to get their boy toy into the bedroom. And a lot of the men in these relationships won't get very much more than a free meal and a cab ride home.
Ah.
So the women are not showering these guys with gifts like the men shower the girls with gifts.
Interesting. But I have to say something about that. See, I would think that the difference, you take, and we've had this conversation, you take some of these men that honestly couldn't get these pretty young girls unless they did buy them the pretty jewelry and the nice things.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
That is true.
Typically, the older men have less to offer sexually, where the older women go for the younger guys, and the younger guys have a lot to give sexually.
Absolutely. And sometimes those relationships, the younger guy, older woman thing, the guy is not very successful financially and is really, aside from looking for the sex, looking for that free meal and that cab ride home. And sometimes looking for, a nice stay in a nice place, or even if they're not giving them so much, as far as like electronics or whatnot, some of them actually are, though.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them actually are.
That's right.
Some of these women, boy, they have money to burn, and they will burn it on their little guys.
That's right. According to the website Testimony, female members leave Toy Boy Warehouse with liberation and increased appreciation of genuine connections with some of the opposite sex from a different age range.
Yeah.
So a lot of these women really are looking for a relationship with a younger guy. And they are getting it.
And they feel, a lot of it is that they feel so much younger.
Yeah.
Some of them don't look younger, but they feel so much younger.
Yeah. Well, it's all about how you feel.
Absolutely.
Sex is what goes on between your ears, not between your legs. I've told you that time and time again.
Yes, you have, sir.
So these so-called boy toys, what kind of benefits do they see in these relationships? Well, we've got a couple of testimonies from Boy Toy. But what about these so-called boy toys? What kind of benefits do they see in these relationships?
I would love to know.
So here's what Boy Toys from Toy Boy Warehouse had to say. Okay, this is from a guy, and he says that I was sort of dating this older woman from Italy while I was living in London. It wasn't a serious relationship, and we were both seeing other people. But every few months, she would pay for my flight to Italy to visit her for the weekend. And I would like to say that Italy's lovely, but we never left the apartment.
Ah, so it was seriously sexual then.
Very, very.
Very cool.
Another guy says that she was quite well off, and she was happy to pay for the dates, the hotel rooms, the lingerie, and the weekends away. And on the other hand, I was broke, so I let her pay.
Ah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
he says they went to dinner at places that he couldn't afford. And
See
saw
that?
shows
And
that
so he did things with her, and he gave her something that she couldn't get from somebody else. See?
That's right.
So yeah.
Another guy says, I can tell you the cougar sugar mommy thing is a myth. All of the cougars I've gone out with, none have bought me any expensive toys or gifts. Just like any other dating experience, I'm expected to pay, not the other way around.
Well, that I've never heard.
Yeah,
That was a strange situation.
she was
That must have
probably
been...
just cheap.
Well, no.
There are cheap women out there.
But you'd think, see, he was saying all of them. So maybe it's just him.
It could be.
Because if it's all of them, then that's crazy.
Okay. All right, this guy, Mike. Now, he's 39, so he's kind of an older boy, too. I wonder how old she was. He says that he had an older woman who used to go on who he used to go on vacation with a lot. And at first, he would always pay, but after so many trips, it started to get a little expensive. So she was happy to pay for me to go, which I couldn't say no to. And we went to Spain, to Thailand, Japan. She was
nice.
she was a real keen traveler, and he says, I like the free stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
So, any of you young guys out there, Mike, it is toyboywarehouse.com.
It's been ingrained in my memory already. That's the first time he said it.
You've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You want more? Go right to our website, 920thejersey.com. Click on demand and scroll down directly to us.
And if you have a topic of interest you want us to discuss, or you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card.
But how you make people feel? Well, that becomes your trademark.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.